Hello, everyone. This is our team. We are going to talk about business agility today. I am with Kaan, Rami, Faisal, and I am Ahmad. So in this presentation, we are going to talk about the business agility report, and through it, we will enlighten you with what business agility is all about. First, I would like to start by noting down the problems faced by companies nowadays. Today, we are living in an unprecedented times with the corona outbreak. All organizational structures are no longer fit for this changing world of work. According to the Business Agility Report, in 2021, the key barriers to success are organizational resistance to change, leadership issues, difficulty scaling the transformation, and a lack of communication and collaboration. As organizations around the world continue to adapt to the ongoing virus, the importance of business agility was never made more apparent. Organizations have to adapt to change in a quick manner to stay successful. And as Mark B., the CEO of Salesforce, mentions, speed is the new currency of businesses. So what's business agility? Business agility is a set of organizational capabilities, behaviors, and methodologies of working that affords your business the freedom, flexibility, and resilience to achieve its purpose, no matter what impediments the future brings. It's not just about processes, procedures, but fundamental principles and ways of thinking that lead to new organizational behaviors and norms. Examples of what business agility is about: it's a culture of respect, trust, learning, and autonomy. It's an obsession to create timely customer. It's an aligned business objectives, processes, and policies. Okay, so what are some how can you understand if a business is being agile, following the business agility? You can ask the following questions. The first question can be asked about the culture, you can question its relentless improvement. The organization should ask, what practices do organizations put in place to make it safe to learn and improve as an organization? Second thing they can question is their value streams. They should ask, how do we structure our organizations and practices to improve the flow of work and reduce hands-off on key customer value streams? And the third one is about funding models. They should ask, have we defined the business outcomes we want to achieve, and can we measure the value of those outcomes as we strive to achieve them? And next, I'm going to talk about some of the benefits of business agility. The first one is commercial benefit. It improves speed to the market, adaptability, revenue, and customer satisfaction. Second is workforce-related benefit. It improves employee engagement, transparency, and communication. And third, organizational behaviors. It improves team autonomy, productivity. It sets clear goals, and it's a culture of experimentation and innovation. And lastly, it provides a faster adaptation to COVID. It improved the adaptation to the unpredictable event. The work doesn't stop, and no major losses would be faced. According to Business Agility Report, organizations has improved their performance by 8% after following the business agility journey. So right now I'm going to be discussing what's the difference between agility and business agility. So agility, as we know it, it's about collaboration, feedback loops, making change to the plan, and getting stuff done. But business agility, it's something different. It's an outcome-oriented movement. It focuses on internal culture, leadership behaviors, change in management, and most importantly, it's an organizational design to make sure people are working on the right thing. In the agile domain, all of those things work in different silos. HR alone, PMO alone, business agility domain mixes them all together. Next, I'd like to give the stage to Kaan.
Okay, so business agility has 4 different key areas: leadership, operations, individuals, and relationships. These 4 different key areas has 13 domains. For relationship, it's important to have relationships with customer, workforce, board, and partners. And you should lead your people, your team, and you have some strategic vision. And also, while leading your operations, it's important to have process agility, structural agility, and enterprise agility. And you should have some growth mindset, because all organizations consist of individuals, and these operating and leading these individuals are important in agile way. So in these 13 different domains, a survey made with companies and ask questions to determine the level of agility in these 13 different domains of business agility. But how do you understand the result is nice or bad? If the point is 1 or 2, it's pre-growth stage. It's a traditional company follows traditional process. When the score is 3 or 4, the company is at the growth stage, so the company is just getting started. If 5 or 6, now we started to be a business agile, but we are not running yet. When 0.7 or 8, we started to run. And our target is 0.9 or 10, flying stage. So are all of the companies flying? Not yet. Only 27% of the companies has scored 7 points or more. And the average is 4.9. So the average is not, we can say that average is great. And it's below 7, actually. And the average score was 4.8 in 2020. So we can say that it increased a bit. So why is the score is low? Because the company has hardly managed people and has the average of growth mindset is only 4.4. Actually, large companies has difficulties with people management. That's why small companies with 0 to 50 employees has a high average score. But large companies like Eureko insurance company, they have really low scores, 4.5 only. And when we look to our top industries, consulting companies, information technology, and manufacturing automotive companies has relatively high scores. So you can ask me, like, business agility is great, but what's the duration? Like, can we be a business agile in a week? Of course not. In 1 year, your benefit starts. In 2 years, you take your first significant step. And after 2 years, you start to earn your benefits, and you start to earn advantages of being business agile. So we are in a different world. So now we will continue with COVID.
Okay, thank you, Kaan. So I'm going to continue with the COVID retrospective. Since 2019, the world was heavily affected with an unforeseen change due to the coronavirus outbreak. And this urged a lot of organizations to implement change. So for 2021, the report sought to further investigate how organizations adapted to the disruptions of the COVID pandemic and what effect this has on their business agility. So as you can see here from the investigation, around 71% of the organizations agreed, while 16.1% strongly agreed, while the remaining were either neutral or did not agree. So this can tell us that business agility transformations have an overwhelmingly supportive impact on responding and coping with COVID. Moving on, we can tell from the earlier graph that organizations reported a sustainable increase in agility throughout the COVID disruption. Over 87% of organizations reported increases in business agility throughout the COVID disruption, and this improvement is likely to be sustained. This evidence reinforces that COVID has been an accelerator for increasing organizational agility. And also based on the investigation, only 3.2% did not find an increase in business agility. So what does this tell us? This tells us that the COVID pandemic demonstrates rapid change is possible and beneficial. The majority of respondents indicated that the COVID pandemic led to the acceleration of their business agility journey, as their organizations were forced to continuously adapt to a fast-changing and uncertain business environment. Also, for a lot of organizations, if they did not implement their business agility practices earlier, they would probably be they would probably be out of business since the COVID pandemic was really not foreseen or predicted. So business agility transformation beyond COVID. A question arises, once this pandemic is over, will we return to our old ways of working? The answer is probably unlikely because business agility transformations are being accelerated now. A greater sense of urgency is being placed on the transformations, as well as there are a lot of forced increased investments to implement those transformations. Next slide. Okay. So when it comes to implementing business agility and going through the business agility journey, we have different obstacles we can go through, such as resistance to change, leadership, difficulty scaling, mindset, commitment, and so on. So when we, next slide, please. So how can we overcome, I'm gonna emphasize more on the top 3 obstacles and how we can overcome them. So when it comes to resistance to change, how can we overcome this obstacle? We can do that by keeping a focus on the whys. And resistance to change can be overcome with a constant reminder. If we keep reminding ourselves of why we should do that and why we should change, it should be a good implementation or solution to this issue. And the second most significant challenge to business agility adoption faced by many organizations is leadership. So in order to overcome this challenge, leaders should be mindful, also communicate with a clear vision, as well as be consistent with their goals. And lastly, difficulty scaling. Difficulty scaling is the 3rd most common challenge in business agility. And in short, it means shortage of skilled employees. And we can overcome this challenge by continually evaluating the operating model through different processes. And we can support these processes to operate at a larger scale. So if we had a process in which, if we had an operating model, such as having a criteria, analysis, performance, and approach, we can evaluate those processes and we can maybe support them at an even larger scale. That's it for me. My friend Faisal will continue on with business agility.
Thank you, Rami. Thank you, Rami. So business agility successes. Wait a second. Respondents were asked to describe the single biggest benefit that business agility has brought to their organizations. And we can see 3 best top things that agility was boosted during this time. So we can see speed to market, productivity, autonomy, a culture of experimentation. The second one, which is employee satisfaction, obviously employees got satisfied because applying business agility was very useful for them. And adaptability, improved business agility practices, reduces of silos of 2021. And let's not forget about the rest, which is transparency, communication, productivity, and etc. Next slide. Survey demographics. So business agility continues to be a global trend. This report surveys diverse range of 254 organizations with 400,000 to 400,000 employees spanning 24 industries. So we can see in here the spread of agility was very huge compared to 2020 and 2021. In 2020, we can see in 2021, has been a significant change in the percentages. As you can see, 10,000 employees were 28%, from 1,000 to 10,000 employees were 24%, and then the rest of the small companies. Next. Maturity scores in different regions. So these are the maturity scores my friend mentioned. We can see in here that in South America, there's 4.4, Asia 5.4, and 5.6 for Oceanias. And North America was 4.1. So in here, it's like a graph that shows us the maturity scores of different countries. Business agility continues to be a global trend with respondents, organizations operating in the following regions. In the graph, we can see that the most percentage we have is in South America, which is 15% versus 8% in 2020. And the second largest one was Asia, with also 15% in 2020, and the rest of the world. Industrial volatility. High agility organizations are better at responding to volatile market conditions in 2021. As we can see, coronavirus hit us, and business were very corrupted by this pandemic, and only companies who had business agile applied to their businesses were able to survive this pandemic. As you can see in here, 23 of the respondents indicated that their organizations were able to effectively adapt to this market volatile. These effective respondents tended to be drawn from organizations that reported a high business agility maturity score. So only the businesses that had high maturity scores, they were able to give a survey and tell us that business agility was very useful for them. Next slide. Thank you guys for watching.